Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to share with you my homeschool planner, and this is a homemade one that I make myself at the beginning of the year, I believe, after trying to look for a perfect planner for me. I mean, of course there's no such thing, so I decided to make my own. I used some printables online as well as some pages that I made myself, using a software on my computer. I think I only used Word to do this. I designed this cover with that, and I used 3 ring binders, color purple, which is my favorite color, and then this pocket I bought at Staples. You can write your name and your phone number at the bottom, in case you take it somewhere and you leave it, you forget about it, which will be very rare that I did that. But anyways, it has this stick-on strips on the side, so you can stick it on whatever you want to. You can actually use this on a wall and on a door as well. Inside I have some post-its in case I need them for the planning, and I have this really nice page that I printed out, which is kind of like a reminder of why I'm doing all this planning for. Next I have my chore charts. I got this from the Dollar Tree, and it's supposed to be for kids, but I use it for myself. My chores for the week. I don't only do this. These are just things that I need to remind me of. Just do them this day, and then the next day you do this, or important things. But mainly chore stuff. And I write down the days that I need to do those things. I don't look at this all the time, but whenever I need to remind me of something, I just look at here. Next page is personal information. Then I have a school calendar here that I really didn't use, so I don't think I'm gonna print it out again. These are pages from the internet. This one is from a Dollar Tree planner that I got for $1, of course. I just used this page, which is important holidays and dates for 2015 and 16. I didn't find one that said 2014, but it was the end of the year, so most of the dates there don't really change that much. And then on the other side, the page that I took from the planner is weights and measures. And I really wanted this because I know here in the United States we use the measures that we use, but in the rest of the world they use other kind, which is the one I'm used to using, which is kilograms, liters, kilometers, centimeters, and Celsius. So I have both for each here, both measures. Then I have a planning schedule, and it has a key here at the bottom. That some of them I didn't use what they wrote down here. I think there was holidays, and I just wrote down HS group, which is the co-op. Then we take a break and I just wrote a little line here. So that's what you can see here. The days that we did school, the days that we didn't do school, or co-op days, whenever we took a break, and then you would write down the days that you did school and the weeks. Next one is to attendance record. I got this from also I think from the same website. And then as you can tell, I put some washi tape here so you can reinforce when you punch hole it's not ripping, and also it's nice and decorated. Did the same here. I couldn't do all the way down because the numbers. This is for 4 kids, so I just covered the other spaces because I only have one child, and then I just use one column for each month. Next are the goals for the year. This is a nice idea to have. I really like this. I don't really like the background though. It's kind of I don't know, it's kind of like distracting of what you want to write down, especially if you want to write with pencil. I mean, you really want to write down things with pencil when you have a planner, because you might change your plan later on and you're going to have to go and reprint everything. So I really recommend that you only use a pencil, and if you write with pencil you can barely see what you write down. So these are some homeschool goals, personal goals. If you want, you can pause the video and read it. If you're curious to know, you can read it. And then some health goals and spiritual goals. So that's that. And then the next page is something that I didn't really use, is my daughter's reading log. I started using it, but I just didn't find I didn't think it was really necessary after all, so I stopped using it. Next one is another page from the internet. It's called my curriculum planner. These are the subjects, the resources that I use, and then some manipulatives here. It says store and website, but I didn't really need that, so I just wrote manipulatives and stuff that I have for each subject. Not all of them, because I mean there are too many. I can't write all of them down. This is just something to keep me focused and to have a list where I go when I go to my homeschool reviews each year, so I can tell them I'm using this for each subject, this, and that. Next one is a website subscription log, and this one I really recommend to have. I mean, I do have my favorites bookmark on my computer, but this is nice to have also. These are some websites that I really like to visit. Also, I can recommend the website for JDA, which is shelfwork.com. I don't have it written down here, but I can recommend. The next one is some contacts and some personal. Those are my personal contacts and stuff. Then lesson planning. This is another cover that I made myself. So as you can tell, the pages that I'm gonna write on, I use washi tape to reinforce the sides, and the ones that I don't write on, I use sheet protector. Here I have my lesson planning, and I made these tabs myself. I just cut out part of the sheet protector so it can come out like that. I printed this out that I love what it says. Then I have another waste of paper and ink to me because I didn't really use this. I'm not saying that the person who designed this page, it was a waste of ink and paper. I mean, it is to me because I didn't really make a good use out of it. The spaces are too small for me. Maybe you just have to write it, maybe 2 or 3 things, something that you need to focus for that week. But that's why I didn't use it, because I didn't really think it would work for me. So yes. And then another one that I didn't find a good use for are quarterly academic planners. I thought I was gonna use them, but I started using them, but I wouldn't go back here and oh, what are we doing for the month? Oh, we're doing this and that, because some things, I mean, what I'm saying here is that planning ahead, it doesn't always work for me. It works when I do it weekly or bi-weekly, but not like quarterly or like monthly. I can have an idea in my head, but not something written down, because then I feel like I'm forced to do that because I already planned it and I wrote it down. So I'm doing something different now. I think it happens to every person, every parent. When they plan things, they say I want to do this year, and then at the middle of the year they change their mind, or things change around, and then you just don't use this anymore. You just don't have the same idea anymore, I mean. So that's why I don't use this anymore. Then I wrote these words of encouragement from the Lord. I just picked the verses myself and I wrote them down. I typed them down. And if you want, you can take a look at this. The next pages are the months and the weekly. So let me jump into January, which was our last full month that I used the planner for. So that was December. I didn't use a lot. January, here it is. So I had the month. These are from the Dollar Tree. This, I don't know how they call separator sheets. I don't know. And I just put them together with washi tape. I wrote the month. And then these pages, I print them out in this really nice paper. It's a little thicker than computer paper. I designed this monthly planners in my computer. And January, so that's the month, and then a theme for the month, and then some notes if you want to take the dates for each day. And then this is what I use my post-its for. When I run out of space for each day, I just use a post-it on top or something that I want to highlight. Here I would write stuff down like math test, and she got a little star because I don't really do tests like school does. For her, tests are like a game. Let's see how much you learn, and she's like, oh, I remember this that I learned, and yeah, now I know it, so I can write it down. And she's so excited. Sometimes I want to help her, and she's like, no, don't tell me, I want to do it myself. So tests, I just do it because it's part of her workbook, and it's like a study game for her. So I just write down stuff that like sensory bin for that day, and then we started using our religious beliefs workbook that day, and things like that. So then it comes the weekly planner, and this I designed myself. Week off, and then you have to write down the week and then the theme for the week. Take notes, kind of like the same for the month, but this one has subjects. So I leave all these spaces for our subjects, and then things that we do for the week. For each day. So this is Monday, so this is all we did Monday for each subject. Some subjects we don't do every week, so I don't write down stuff there. This was a Thursday that I think we didn't go to our co-op for some reason, and then we did school, so we didn't do school on Wednesday. Friday we didn't do a lot, as you can see, so that's how it's planned. So when I say I want to redesign this thing, the spaces are so small. Look at this. I almost ran out of space to write down things, and I have to write only so little because I don't have enough room. So I'm redesigning this for next year. Definitely doing that. I didn't print out any more of these because what I'm doing right now, I'm using the regular sheet of papers, and I write down the date, and then I write down whatever we did for each subject, and that's it. And then we jump into the next day. So I might design something similar to this when we start our school year next year. So all the way to June. And then I wrote something. I did a planner for the summer, which is, here. And for the summer, I printed these pages from the internet. And since we're not going to be doing school each week and each month and each day or so, I printed this out so it doesn't have the date written down or the month written down. It just, you can write whatever day. So let's say we did school one day of the week, so I just write down the day and the day and or the date. This is weekly planning, but we can do school maybe this day, and then maybe one day of the weekend, and then some to-do list, reminder, or notes. I don't think I'm gonna use this, but maybe some notes. So these are for the summer. So I'm planning for the summer. This I think I'm definitely going to use. And then some co-op group. This is the co-op that I go to. And I make another tab for this. And these are our personal stuff. This is a logo for the co-op. I don't really like the logo, but anyway, that's the logo that we have. That is part of the member handbook. Not all the pages though. I just took some of them to put it here. This is a map. And then these are some classroom descriptions. This is welcome to Passport to Learning. And then on the bottom are some personal information like contact information. And then new member checklist. So this year I'm a new member, so I have that. And then some information for like director, assistant, treasurer, and stuff like that. Here I have more stuff of the same. These are the classroom classes. These are the ones that we're taking. The classes that we're taking. This is a calendar, and these are my duties for the year. I have to help with lunch cleaning that day. We already did that. And then breakfast for that day, I did that. And then actually tomorrow, I'm helping with breakfast. And then May 14th, this is the last day of classes, and I'm helping with lunch cleanup. This is co-op information and parent responsibilities. Now here it says general information, and I made this myself. And I have another tab for this. And these are all documents that I won't be able to show you because they're documents of my letter of approval and stuff like that. Homeschool program reviews, homeschool office supervision, and these are the supervisions that we do and stuff like that, what to expect. These are some correspondence school that can assist me and stuff like that. This is something that I print online from a county. It's called Howard County Public School System. You can go in there and look for this, what your child will learn in kindergarten. And this is something that I printed out to have kind of like a checklist of what, you know, school system will expect me to teach my daughter. Not that I'm doing exactly what they tell me, it's just to have kind of like a guide for language arts. You know, this is all they're supposed to learn. For math, all this, science, social studies, health, instruction, technology, so computer, thinking skills, art. Look how little for art. And that's what my daughter is more interested in. My family is more interested in art. And also science. Science is pretty nice. Music, all this, you know, melody and pitch, tone, color, tempo, rhythm, movement, dynamics, form, physical education, library media. Oh, this is kind of computer, I think. And then this stuff to help your child at home. You know, this is if you were to take your child to public school. These things that you can do at home with them to help them. So this is helpful too. And then homeschool frequently asked questions. I printed this out in case I need some help or something to look back. And then my homeschool records for my daughter. She wrote this down, and these are records. And I have another printable here. It's really nice, Philippians 4:6. This is a form that we need to fill in when we go to our reviews. And the last part are for field trips. So this is for field trips. And you can use like the first half and then another half for another field trip. And so on. And then student periodic report cards. I just printed them out in case I needed to take to a reviews, but we don't really need to, so I'm not using them. I only printed the 2 pages. This is on grading scale that I might be, you know, I might have to use maybe later on, but I don't believe in grades. I really don't. I know a lot of parents do, but I don't believe in grades. That's why when I give my daughter a test, only because it's in the workbook, I do it as a game for her. It's not like a test, really. And then on the back, I have some pages that have leftovers from the weekly planners, and then a lot of stickers that I might use for my planners, my planning. Oh, and I also have this, which I usually keep marked the page that I need to jump in, so I don't have to look for it. So I will have it like right here. Let me see if I can do it with one hand and my left hand. So yes, that's what I would have. I would go like this, straight to the month that I need to go to. So that's it. I think that's it for this video. It's 18 minutes long, but I hope that it was helpful, that you got some ideas. Another thing that I did buy was this, that I didn't use anymore. Some pockets, like folders to keep inside, and I was keeping like printables for like my unit studies, but then I didn't use it anymore, so I just took it out. It was $3 at Staples, in case you want it. I mean, you look for it. So that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Really, it's a long video, but I hope that it was helpful. And then I'll see you next time. Have a good week. Bye bye.